just looking on the other side, you're looking at a player with young potential and real potential in Sonny Carey. He is somebody that makes good runs from midfield, gets forward, and with the experience that he's got in the final third in King, Jackson and Gash, certainly provide those through balls for those three in the final third.
Well, this is a promotion race that is impossible to call and fantastic to watch. Halifax seeking to reach the National League playoffs for a second season running, beaten in the previous campaign's eliminators. It is a club that has learned plenty from the experience and seems ready to go again. The question is, will they get the chance? I guess Kings Lynn really are seeing out a season. They're planning already underway for the next one, a club that's dealt with so much uncertainty this season. But in some ways, I guess they have more certainty than Halifax right now, certainly in terms of what division they'll be playing in next season. Halifax dreaming of the Football League, but they're not alone, and I guess every point right now is precious, Adam.
Oh, it certainly is, and I never enjoy playing against these sides that towards the end of the season when they've really got nothing to play for, when you couldn't get relegated and you couldn't get into the playoffs. So they almost play with an element of freedom that if they get it right, the confidence just slowly starts to turn and they play their own game. I think the really important thing for Ian Culverhouse's side that he's not making a debut for a new player, so there is an element of a small stability within his side. You've got that experience in the final third of King, Gash and Jackson. It's not about Sonny Carey, who's on the ball now. He's going to be vitally important this afternoon. It's all about the application of Pete Wild's side to really make up for that midweek performance against Wrexham.
Back it comes to Theo Richardson. He had been playing in the 8th tier earlier this season with Cleethorpes, from whom he's on loan at the moment. Really is a group of players right at this moment for Kings Lynn who have been rather thrown together, but interesting listening to Ian Culverhouse before the game, Adam, praising those players, saying how they've really bought in to what he's trying to do and how they're trying to stay loyal to his philosophy, way of playing, if you like.
Well, it is a manager that I know very, very well from my days at Brighton, and being a young player playing under him. He's an excellent coach that wants to play in the right way and almost lives and dies by the way that his philosophy certainly wants to be. And the amount of turnover in players, and that's not easy for a manager, for a new player coming in, week out, 2-3 players coming in to then say we need to try and play like this and build into it. I think he lost his way a little bit because he tried to change the way that Kings Lynn played. And now he's gone back to this is what his beliefs are, and they need to try and take this momentum and the style and the application onto next season.
Richardson with the clearance. Beautiful day in West Yorkshire, temperature around 13 degrees. Great weather for football. Here's Williams. Bradbury spotted the run there of Eric. 2 goals in his last 4 games, 7 for the season from midfield for Halifax, for Jack Earing, joint top scorer. There'll be a few takers for him, Adam, with his contract up in the summer.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the way that he's applicated himself this season, as I mentioned, he's always been a decent footballer. It's that consistency on a week-on-week basis, and I think sometimes when they go away from home on a difficult evening, I think he can be inconsistent, but the majority of this season he's been absolutely excellent, and he's added goals to his game. Being on a free in the summer, I'd be very, very surprised to see him here next season.
Kings Lynn working hard here. It's Sonny Carey looking to burst through. It's a lovely pullback as well, looking for Gash. Just got a little glimpse there of the quality of Carey. There's a good intensity about Kings Lynn in the early stages here. Forward it went from Summerfield. Sliding in was Byrne. Well, Pete Wild described Tuesday night's 4-0 loss to Wrexham as a nice little slap in the face. It's one way of putting it. A mad half hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a mad half an hour for him, wasn't it? And a massive result for Dean Keats' side as well. especially in that playoff push for so many sides.
King. Good ball that. And this is Chadwick, who's on loan from Hull City, back in the side today. He's pulled that pass. It was a good ball that for Williams. He just completely misjudged the shot.
Well, he did do it. It's one of those balls that come across your body that's not very easy, and you've got the option to go into the near post and the far post, and I think you got caught in between two minds of what to do, but brilliant ball there from Jeff King to put in Billy Chadwick there.
Denton, but under pressure by Eric. Playoffs do remain a very achievable target for Halifax. Kings Lynn, they're all about promotions themselves. They've had 2 in as many seasons, but right now just fulfilling fixtures is their focus. On the attack here though, King. And Clunan will keep it in. And it'll be a corner. Plenty of ambition being shown by Kings Lynn Town in the early stages.
Well, regardless of their results, Adam, you look at the personnel that Ian Culverhouse has put out this afternoon, they'll give absolutely everything, whether you look at the result against Stockport and the results against Chesterfield in recent times. It's one of these awkward games. I've been in it as a player. When you're playing against a side that's got nothing to play for, if you allow them to start well and they gain confidence, as a professional, you play into the game and you're playing your normal game. It's just about trying to put them on the back foot, which they haven't been managed to do so far, Halifax.
Teenage centre-half Baggett's one of those forward. He came closest to getting to that for Kings Lynn, as Cameron King plays back here to Howard. King again, knows the Shea very well after spending the last 2 seasons with Halifax. It goes without saying, Halifax, the side with all the onus and the pressure on them here. The race for the playoffs is intensely competitive, as Matt Smith was saying ahead of kickoff. And they are a side of whom a reaction is being demanded today by their manager Pete Wild. Standards drop way below the levels they've mostly been at this season on Tuesday night. Chested down by Gash, but he caught Williams in the face. That looked like a sore one.
Yeah, that was a bad one there. Leading arm there from Gash. I mean, he's a physical player at the best of times. Really led with the elbow there. It's a naughty one, I must admit. Saw one the other day with Carl Wooten on Theo Vassell. When you're facing the ball and you're facing the player, you've got the opportunity to put one on Danny Williams there.
I was reading an interview with him before this game, Michael Gash, where he said he enjoys a battle. Maybe showed it a bit there. It's been one of those seasons for Kings Lynn where, of course, you're having to furlough players and things like that. You'd never have predicted that, but even in the way that it started, Adam, if we rewind right to the start of the season, of course, Gash missed the start of the season, didn't he? In fact, they were without both of their centre-forwards, if you recall, for the opening game of the season. Were both injured, and like Ian Culverhouse says, it's been a case of 1 step forward, 2 steps back all the time this season for Kings Lynn, and it kind of started in that way, really, with missing their 2 forwards right at the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was really important for Ian Culverhouse. When you look at the key players, your Marriotts, your Gashes, your Southwells, players like that in the final third, that you almost start them and you kind of rest your hat on them, and you can kind of build the team around those kind of players within the final third. And I think it was really difficult for Ian to start the season without his 2 main strikers.
Jackson with the ball in, but an easy take for Sam Johnson. Summerfield. King. Certainly don't think many people would have seen Halifax's 4-0 loss to Wrexham coming. They'd had back-to-back wins against Weymouth and Altrincham directly beforehand. And had only lost one of their previous 10 National League matches. It's a good ball though for Eric. And Jake Hyde wants it on the edge of the box. And decided to try and go alone. Callum McFadden it was with a good block there for Kings Lynn Town. Cameron King. Sonny Carey it is who showed down the line and now comes inside. Still Cameron King. Now Carey. And now King. It's a lovely move this. Oh, brilliant football. Can they finish it? Great save by Johnson. The shot by Simeon Jackson. But that was wonderful football from Kings Lynn.
Yeah, really, really good play there. And you kind of felt that when King got into this position, just a little give and go there off Carey. Great little movement there from Simeon Jackson that drew Mar into closing the gap there. Just went the angle just slightly against him. It was a good save from the goalkeeper. Maybe a side foot into that near post rather than Powell would probably been the better option.
In comes the resulting corner. Again, Baggett came close to getting something on there. Clunan with the pass. Gash. Time it was cut out by Bradbury. Just the one goal in 8 league appearances prior to today for Simeon Jackson, signed in March from Chelmsford on loan. Somebody you've played against, Adam.
Yeah, a player when he was at Gillingham coming through. Just a real player that played on the shoulders, a bit like an Aaron McLean kind of a player that always ran within the final thirds, and just that opportunity there that he got, that's what he did week in, week out, playing on the shoulders, waiting for that chance, and had a really, really good season at Gillingham and then went on to Norwich and really flourished there in the Championship.
Well, it was a decade ago now that he actually won promotion to the Premier League with Norwich. Thought it went from Clunan. Jackson. Cameron King. There is an expression here about the play of Kings Lynn Town. That's Denton's cross. Gash is there! On the volley and into the back of the net from Michael Gash. It's another quality move from Kings Lynn Town. And they're in front here at the Shea with 12 gone.
But a goal that's totally deserved, and Denton makes a great run down that left-hand side. Just look at Gash's movement in the middle. It's a brilliant ball in there. Niall Mars just caught square, and Gash makes a run in behind him. And it's a brilliant, brilliant ball in there from Denton. Just puts it into a position there. The experience of Gash knows to control the finish into the goal. It's a goal that's certainly been coming. You can't say that Kings Lynn haven't deserved it. And maybe that's the goal now to really kick Halifax into gear, because they've not started this game yet. But a brilliant start for Ian Culverhouse's side.
He knew exactly where the camera was as well, didn't he? Michael Gash. He is the top scorer of players who are still at the club. But after the disappointment of Tuesday night for Halifax and Pete Wild, again, they've been rather slow to start, as they were against Wrexham.
I just mentioned there, maybe it's the goal that they concede that kicks them into gear slightly. I mean, you look at the troubles that Halifax have had this season compared to what Kings Lynn have had. Kings Lynn has started brilliantly, and we mentioned about the application, the mental side of his side has been absolutely brilliant. And that's a real testament to him, and listening to his interview, I think he felt quietly confident with the side that he put out today that they could give Halifax a game. They've started well, they've got themselves a goal, now they've got to keep that momentum going.
I was fascinated listening to Ian Culverhouse. There was actually an interview that he gave to a local newspaper, his Summerfield. Get back to that in a moment, as Halifax looked to hit straight back, and they nearly did, with Williams arriving in the box there. Almost an instant reply from the Shaman.
Just enough there from Rob Howard. Just saw the danger. Look at the determination of the wingback to get in there and just stop Williams trying to get in. It's a good position in there from the fullback. Just one of those ones you don't need to actually touch the ball, just let the ball run across you, know what's around you.
He was saying, Ian Culverhouse, that in his own words, he rather lost his way halfway through the season. Says he felt that his thinking about how to play got a little bit clouded, again to use his words. But he said it was out of a text from another manager in the National League telling him to stick to his style of play and his principles, and he said it really put him back on track. It made him refocus and made everything a bit clearer in his mind again.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a promoted side this season. Phil Parkinson's another side from Altrincham.
Earing's been able to bring this a long way. Summerfield with the pass. Jeff King's a long way forward. It's a good response, this, from Halifax to that goal for Kings Lynn. Summerfield got to it. Jack Earing. Woods plays it wide to Williams, whose touch let him down. Cross came in from Woods. Well, the first quarter of an hour here has flown by. It's been a good watch.
It's been a great start. Really enjoyed the game. The intensity's certainly been there on the front foot. You know, Kings Lynn are not here to make up the numbers and just kind of go through the motions. They're here to, as Ian said, to get out of that little relegation zone battle, even though there's no relegation this season.
Woods just beaten to it. Now Carey. Cameron King. Clunan. This is Rob Howards. Cross had too much on it for Gash and just about kept in by King. As you may be aware, there are 8 12:30 kickoffs in the National League just getting underway. And we will be showing you goals from 4 of those games, including the league leaders Hartlepool, who are away at Wealdstone. As I say, they're just getting underway in those other 8 games. The other 3 games that will be bringing you goals from: Notts County, Eastleigh, Chesterfield, Bromley and Woking against Wrexham. But as I say, 8 games kicking off right now in the National League. Summerfield. Clunan was there, but Halifax have kept possession. Chadwick's ball wide, and he's continued his run here and gets on the ball again. Chadwick. Woods. Summerfield. King's cross, Earing with the header, wide it went. But a good reaction from Halifax.
Yeah, I must say that they've reacted really, really well and had 1 or 2 half chances. I wouldn't say great chances, but half chances. King's always a player that's always going to get forward well in those wide areas. It's always a difficult one for Jack Earing to get underneath and power towards goal.
It's a good example, Jack Earing, of how a young player, maybe things aren't quite working for them, but they're sent out on loan to lower leagues, as he did last season. He was at Spennymoor Town and Farsley Celtic on loan and has really benefited from that experience. Seems to have come back a better player, more rounded player maybe even. Just miscontrolled by Michael Clunan. It's Cameron King with the problem here, who's only just returned from an injury. Was a doubt for today's game. It's an FA Cup semi-final weekend, and we have a live game from Wembley tomorrow. Leicester up against Southampton. The Foxes, of course, have been to 4 FA Cup finals in the past without winning any of them, looking to beat the Saints to a place in this season's showpiece. Tomorrow from 6 o'clock, our coverage starts, and our next live Premier League game also involves the Foxes. That in the East Midlands against West Brom on Thursday. Earing, King, 3 in the box here. And Earing will get to it, and looks to put it towards goal. And Woods was there, and it just wouldn't drop for him. Last-ditch defending from Kings Lynn Town, but they've just about got the job done.
Well, Halifax getting a lot of joy down the right-hand side with Jeff King. Denton just playing a little bit more narrow than what you really want him to do. You need to go in those one-on-one situations. It's a challenge there from Rob Howard in the end that was really, really important. But we mentioned there's a good reaction there from Halifax so far. But again, Theo Richardson in the goal hasn't really been tested so far, but they are getting into decent areas that you certainly feel a bit more quality. They will get an opportunity to get a shot on target.
Williams under pressure there, coming all the way back from a centre-forward position, was the goal scorer, Gash. It shows the work rate, really, of this Kings Lynn side. Earing. King. Chadwick. Lovely return ball towards King. And it was Howard who got it clear. It's good pressure, this, though, from Halifax.
I love the last-ditch challenge, and that's certainly an encouraging sign for Pete Wild's side. They're dominating possession now, and they're getting into good areas.
Drew a blank in that 4-0 loss to Wrexham on Tuesday. Halifax, though, haven't gone 2 games in a row without scoring since November. Their defeat to Wrexham was the first time in 12 National League home games that they failed to score, and they certainly have looked a threat, particularly since going a goal down here. Well, he had predicted, Pete Wild, that Kings Lynn Town would be the type of side today who would play with freedom, and he also pointed out, which is a point well worth making actually, that when you look around this Kings Lynn side, Adam, that whilst, yes, they've got nothing to play for as a club right now, there's a lot of individuals, a lot of young players in the Kings Lynn side who maybe look to put themselves in the shop window. They've got a lot to play for individually, haven't they?
Yeah, they do, and I think that's the way that they've been clever in terms of furloughing certain players, then to bring other players in that clubs need to get out on loan, and these young players to be given opportunity in game time. So still a lot to play for. I know Ian Culverhouse won't let his side go through the motions, despite, you know, the results. You look against Stockport, and so you look at the results against Altrincham when they lost 3-0. They still give everything, whether the quality's there on a week-in, week-out basis. Certainly individual performances can be very important for future moves and contracts as well.
King came out to Woods, and Chadwick tried to place one. Well, some of the defending here from Kings Lynn Town is having to be a bit last-ditch, but they're doing it well enough. Halifax get the free kick.
But they're not routine blocks as a defender, Adam. They're last-ditch challenges that, if you don't make them, then Theo Richardson in the goal is going to be really, really tested, and this is another prime example. It's twice now that Callum McFadden's done another last-ditch challenge there to stop Halifax getting a shot towards goal. I mean, they're dominating the play at the minute. As Kings Lynn, you need to see this little bit of pressure through, because at the moment the home side are completely dominating.
Floated in dangerously. Ma. Woods with the ball inside. The loss that Halifax suffered to Wrexham was their heaviest at home since a 7-1 loss to Cheltenham back in October 2015. This an immediate chance to respond at the Shay. Their goal down. Michael Gash with the opener for Kings Lynn. Chadwick. Over it comes here to Danny Williams, who just about kept it in, and Woods will hit it. Tyler Denton got it clear in the nick of time, and now maybe there's a counter-attack on here. Carey. King punting where he wanted it. Really delayed the pass and then decided not to use King. He does get on it now, though. He's got Gash to his left. Jackson to hit one, and it's blocked, and Carey's there to make it two. Sonny Carey for Kings Lynn Town. They've had to soak up a lot of pressure since scoring their opener. It's really the first significant chance they've had since, but they've taken it and doubled their lead.
Well, the ball into Cameron King makes this goal, because if this ball doesn't happen, then this counter-attack doesn't really fruition into a goal, because you think Carey holds up too much there, but look at the ball from Denton. It splits the line, it creates opportunity in space, and what Cameron King doesn't do is delay. Jackson gets a quick shot in that ends up being the block, but Carey, who brings the ball over the halfway line, carries on his run and gets that second ball and gets an easy tap in. But it's the ball from King, it's the movement from King that is so important in this. It's a really good counter-attacking goal, because at one stage you thought this was not going to happen, and all of a sudden they went into second and third gear and they got forwards. It's an easy tap in there from Carey, but it's a decent goal as a side to take them 2-0 up.
And he's somebody who is really impressing this season, Sonny Carey. I'm told that there have been a lot of scouts going to watch him at Kings Lynn. In fact, his manager, Adam in Culverhouse, says that in his opinion he thinks he could play comfortably and regularly at League One level.
Well, I remember seeing him right at the start of the season when they played against Yeovil as the game we covered, and he came on as sub for the last 21, 22 minutes, I think it was, and he really changed the game for Kings Lynn, and I thought he played really, really well. And when you see a talent from the outside, you think he's got something about his game. The one good thing about Kings Lynn and Ian Culverhouse, I remember Fraser Blake Tracy, who the player they had, they went on to Peterborough and signed well. And Cameron Norman was another one, a defender who went to Oxford, didn't quite work out from there, now at Walsall. So listen, they've got an abundance of experience of bringing through these young players and sending them onto the Football League sides. And there's no doubt, in my opinion, that he's another one that's just waiting to go. I think Ian's looked after him well, kind of started him, brought him out, started him and brought him out. And that's a good experienced manager there, looking after a young player. It's a really important stage of the season. I think he started the game really, really well so far.
I have to say, one of the best things about covering this league, as Adam and I have done for many years now, is spotting those rough diamonds, seeing young players furthering their careers, eventually moving on to the Football League, and even some who maybe have already been in the Football League and then drop down to go back up again. If you follow my meaning, it's a great thing about watching this league, and he certainly looks like one who's got a chance. Here's Jeff King. King again. Did well to get the free kick there. Drawing in the challenge from Coleman. An important stop, wasn't it, by Richardson ahead of that second goal. They hit Halifax hard on the counter-attack. Kings Lynn Town. Halifax need a route back in. Could this provide it? Goalkeeper with a good save away to his left there. Richardson reacted well. The movement of the feet was very good there from the Kings Lynn Town goalkeeper.
What to say this was, because he makes this look very easy. Decent catch there from him, and what he does well, he trusts his wall, because so many times you see a goalkeeper making position a little bit more to the right than the left, but took that really, really well. Decent free kick as well.
I think he knew he was on TV with that save, didn't he? Flew through the air beautifully. Former Manchester United and Leeds youngster. Summerfield. Eric made the room for the cross beautifully. In towards Hyde it went, and the goalkeeper couldn't really have been better positioned.
Just got this little feeling, this game's nowhere near over just yet, because the way that Halifax have bounced back every time they've conceded a goal has been excellent. And this time it's Jake Hyde who's not really been in the game so far. terms of chances and opportunities. Just got the little jump there on Callum McFadden, but just couldn't quite direct the header either side of Theo Richardson. It's nothing new for Halifax. They're not really a side that you're renowned for keeping clean sheets and being solid at the back. They're a side that play on the front foot, play in the final third, score goals. So this is a real test now for Pete Wild's side. The next goal is going to be absolutely crucial.
Lynn have suffered back-to-back defeats against Chesterfield and Stockport, but directly prior to that they'd recorded back-to-back wins over Eastleigh and Altrincham. It's loose from Clunan. Summerfields. Header was won by Baggots. Jeff King. And still going with it. And behind it goes for a corner. They might be 2-0 down here, Adam, Halifax, but they've played some decent stuff at times.
Well, they have done, but you have to just give that quality in the final third that Kings Lynn have provided with the cross and in that little ball into Cameron King. That's been the difference so far, but his side have probably dominated the game in possession, dominated the game with being in that final third, but haven't quite got a goal for it.
Shed over half an hour gone in the sun at the Shea. Towards that near post, and it was Gashback defending the centre forward as King brings it down, and Summerfield will put his boot through it. And it fell to Chadwick, who was unable to control that. Earing. Bradbury, Summerfield. Can they get some good service in to hide the centre forward? Not on that occasion. Let's tell you about more live Premier League action that we have coming up. Liverpool in a race for the top four. Newcastle looking to avoid the drop. You can see them in action at Anfield next Saturday from 11:30. And then next Sunday, we are at Villa Park for a West Midlands derby. Villa against West Brom, 6:30 the start time for that on 1. Carey, the scorer of Kings Lynn's second goal, to take it. Howard, Carey. Cameron King. Two down here, Halifax, but they will be confident of getting chances to turn this around. Ahead of the weekend, only Barnet and Wealdstone have conceded more away goals than Kings Lynn. 37 times they've conceded on their travels this season. Cameron King. Clunan. Denton. Howard, he was with Arsenal as a youngster, had a couple of seasons with the Gunners up until the age of 16. Coleman was on loan from Brackley. Cameron King, up it goes to Gash. Simeon Jackson in support of him. There's his pass for Howard. It's nice approach play again, this, and it was over towards Gash, and it was headed behind by Byrne. Lovely football again from Kings Lynn Town.
Yeah, decent play there. I even heard the shout from Michael Gash to hang it up at the far post when he laid it off there. Really little hung up ball there from Howard to the far post. Decent defending.
National League title winner with Barnet back in 2015, Michael Gash. Clunan got the touch to it. Back at Kling, close to get something on it. Denton's pass. King. Gash with the header. There's around 20 minutes gone in the other 8 games that are underway in the National League. We've got twice as many goals, Adam, here already than they've got in all the other games put together. Solihull Moors with the only other goal. We're doing all right in that respect then, at the Shea.
Twice as many as we had in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet, hasn't it? I tell you what, it's going to be some end to the National League season when you look at the playoff picture and the race for the title as well. It's going to be compelling viewing. Cameron King. It's Halifax, one of those sides in the race for the playoff places, the top, between 2nd and 7th, of course, are the places that qualify for the playoffs. Just one automatic promotion slot in the National League, that currently occupied by Hartlepool. It's Hyde looking to get on the turn, and then he found Summerfields. King, Williams, and Chadwick, and Williams again. He stood up a decent cross towards Hyde, but it's just not going for Halifax in the final third.
It just doesn't quite to be falling for them. What I will say is that the patient build-up's been good for them. They are creating the opportunities.
Said that he wanted to see his side dominating the ball today. Wanted to see them opening up Kings Lynn Town.
Well, there's been a big difference so far. Both sides are playing with 10s. We spoke about Earing before the game, King as well. They've been absolutely brilliant in terms of getting the ball into him, the creativity as well, and he's always creating something within that final third. That's been the difference in playing through the thirds. Now, Halifax haven't quite got Earing into the game anywhere near enough. Is what Kings Lynn have done with Cameron King. They need to try and find Jack Earing just a little bit more in those more attacking areas.
Chadwick bursting forward here for Halifax. There's his pass for Jeff King. And King cutting inside as he loves to do, and he's found Williams. Woods. Chadwick again. Or rather, King, I should say. And now Earing. Earing has a go, but it was always rising from the midfielder. So we've had a goal in Derbyshire. Michael Cheek, the league's top scorer, giving Bromley the lead. Unbeaten in their 4 games under Andy Woodman so far. 2 draws, 2 wins. That game 5th against 9th. I have to say, James Rowe-Adams had a great impact at Chesterfield, hasn't he, since he came in? But the Spyrites a goal down at the moment.
Well, this is what the fascinating thing, isn't it, Adam? Towards the end of the season, results will kind of go one way and go another. Everyone would have put certainly money on Halifax to be winning today quite easily, but it's gone against them, and now Chesterfield a goal down against Bromley. Of course, Michael Cheek we know very, very well.
Halifax in the as it stands table are down to 9th. Bromley moving into the playoff picture. It's going to change a lot, that though, not just today, but between now and the end of the season as well. You could easily see it all going down to the last weekend of the season, both in terms of the race for the playoff spots and indeed the title as well. Earing. Good run here by Williams. Chadwick on the edge of the box. Hyde with a dart towards the edge of the 6-yard box. And a foul by the centre forward. And not much has gone Halifax's way in this first 39 minutes.
There's been a lot of huff and puff, hasn't there? But it just hasn't quite been that real quality in the final third when it really, really matters. And that's been the difference in the game so far. The 2 goals that Kings Lynn have scored, one quality pass in from Theo Vassell into Cameron King that set up Jackson, and then the shot that led to Carey just getting that little tap in and then the crossing for Denton for Gash. That's been the two bits of quality in the final third that's really been lacking from Halifax, probably why they've not found the back of the net yet.
Clunan, it was who blocked the pass. Summerfield. Well, it's nothing like as bad as Kings Lynn's. Halifax have certainly had their own defensive frailties this season. They've only kept 3 clean sheets at home, conceding at least twice now in 8 of their 16 games here, if we include this one. In fact, this is the 4th game in a row now that they've conceded at least twice at home. It's becoming a real issue. Williams. Chadwick up against Howard. Crossing was good, but the header well wide. It will be a corner though. The decision changed by the referee, and it will be a goal kick.
Well, you mentioned conceding those 2 goals, and the game that comes to mind is the Sutton game at home when they were 2-0 up, and Craig Eastman getting that late equaliser in the 90 or 91st minute to take a point for Matt Gray's side. It's just been a real area this season for Pete Wild in terms of that defensive unit. I know Nathan Clark has been a real key player last season, and I know some fans are quite critical when he does play, but if you see the results when he's in the side and the results when he's not in the side, you can clearly see the importance of the experienced defender.
Williams. Chadwick. Precise pass by Byrne to Hyde. Summerfield. It's a great run this by Byrne, and he's crossed to Chadwick! Back in the game! Super move there by Halifax, and it's finished off by Billy Chadwick, who took that superbly. Game on at the show.
Oh, massive goal just before half-time. They've been dying for that bit of quality that's ended up with a result and ended up being a goal. It's a little give and go from Byrne down that right-hand side. It's a great little cut back there. Billy Chadwick's in the right place at the right time. They've dominated possession in the final third, Halifax, but they haven't quite hit the quality, and finally they do, and finally they got themselves a goal. I said this game wasn't over by any way, stretch of the matter, and it's a big goal just before half-time.
His 4th in 12 games for Billy Chadwick, and his 2nd loan spell of the season at Halifax from his parent club Hull City. Hull's manager Grant McCann saying that it's a good relationship that he has with Pete Wild that helped secure Billy Chadwick's services on loan for the rest of the season. Now, interestingly here, it's Kings Lynn who look to score again, and the shot by Carey, almost an immediate response there.
Decent shot there from Sonny Carey, because the angle was always working against him. The more he took the ball away from him, that was certainly favoured Sam Johnson. Well, not one of those ones you kind of see a wild slash at, though. It was still a quality strike towards goal that provided a save from the goalkeeper.
Again, they concede on their travels, Kings Lynn. They've only had 2 clean sheets away from home in the league all season. Those in wins at Barnet and Eastleigh. Jackson, is there a push there? Some afters involving Byrne and Carey. He seemed certain there, Carey, that he was going to be getting the free kick. I think he put hands on the ball, actually. Turned by Eric, and oh, the cynical trip that by Clunan. No surprise to see the yellow card produced by Gareth Rhodes. It seemed a challenge out of frustration as much as anything else.
Yeah, it hasn't been that type of game, is it? Played at a decent tempo in the right way, but just a rash challenge there.
So just over a minute of normal time to go at the end of this first half, which has been compelling viewing. Chadwick with the goal that has certainly got Halifax right back into this. They've sent plenty forward for this set piece as well, right at the end of the half. Woods and Summerfield are the players stood over this. Summerfield sends it in, it's a great delivery, and Hyde on the turn! Super finish from the centre forwards. And so quickly here, from being 2 down, Pete Wild's side have levelled things up.
Well, it's a magnificent finish from Jake Hyde, because what he does, he starts in an offside position that creates a space for him, comes back onside, and then goes again. And I thought the first touch was maybe a little bit heavy, but what he does brilliant, he reacts so well to take that quick shot with the left foot. Brilliant, brilliant goal from Halifax. Disappointing though from Kings Lynn to concede from a set play just before half-time, to concede 2 goals in quick play. But I have to say, for Pete Wild's side, it's been a magnificent comeback.
That's 4 goals in 8 games now for Jake Hyde. He is their go-to man for goals. Somebody who works so hard for the cause for the team, does a lot of running, leads the line very well. But he's made it 2-2 at the Shea as we go into added time, a minimum of 2 minutes at the end of the half. Clunan. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable first 45 minutes, this. Matt Smith and Josh Gowling will have a job getting through it all at half-time. All they've got to look back on. Summerfield with the ball forward. Could be more goals before the end of the half. It's such an open game, this. Chadwick's arrived in the box. And Earing with the attempted shot, and it's dropped here for Hyde. He drags it wide. I think he's suggesting there was a deflection on that. Well, the league leaders have taken the lead here. Rhys Oates has got the goal at Wealdstone. Of course, Sutton not playing till later on today. Theirs is a 4:30 kick-off. Hartlepool a point above the U's at the top of the table. And as I say, they're in front pools at Wealdstone. Just confirmation there that would temporarily take Hartlepool 4 points clear at the top, should they be able to win that game at Wealdstone. Wealdstone going into the weekend 18th in the table. But what a first half we've had here, Adam.
Oh, it certainly has been entertaining, isn't it? I just hope that all the goals and the play's been used up in the first half and not in the second, but it's been a really entertaining game of football. Both sides are playing on the front foot, and great comeback from Halifax, because it's one of those games where you can always throw in the towel, but I just always felt the reaction afterwards when they conceded those goals were positive.
Gash. Jackson wanted it in the box, that's who he looked for, but he only found the goalkeeper, Sam Johnson. Looked so good for Ian Culverhouse's side at 2-0. They were clinical in the manner that they took their chances, but it's the defensive frailties that have shone through perhaps a bit in the end in this first half. Certainly seemed to switch off a bit, didn't they, for the second goal, that set piece. Here they come again with Cameron King. Left by Simeon Jackson, and Denton with the cross. In it went from Clunan towards Gash at the back post. Great header from him, and a chance to make it 3-2. Not taken by Simeon Jackson.
It's a really, really tough chance for the experienced striker. Great movement from Gash at the far post to head that ball back across into a danger area.
Confirmation of an earlier booking for Halifax's Martin Woods, but what a half. Thoroughly entertaining. Ian Culverhouse's side were 2 goals up after Michael Gash and Sonny Carey had got goals on 13 minutes and 25, but then came the Halifax comeback. Both their goals scored in the space of 3 minutes and 6 seconds. It was Billy Chadwick with the first and Jake Hyde with the second. We've got some game on our hands here in the sun at the Shea at half-time. It's 2-2.
You'd think a must-win, really, in the context of those playoff places and just how tight it's getting for Halifax here. They were 2 down. It's 2 apiece. Back we go to Adam and Adam.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, a game that's already produced 4 goals, evenly spread, and you feel, Adam, it's a game that's still got a lot more to give as well. Well, Halifax now in the ascendancy, though, having come from 2 down with those 2 goals in the space of just over 3 minutes. Lovely finish from Hyde to make it 2-2 right at the end of that first half. This is Woods. An early Kings Lynn throw in. No changes from either of the managers at half-time. It's as we were in that respect. Here's Gash. Cameron King. Jackson. The challenge there towards the edge of the box was by Marn, the referee. And it was fair. Earring showed good strength there. Williams. Oh, and it's deflected and it's not too far wide. What a start to the second half that would have been for Halifax.
That'd have been a magnificent start. I do think this is a shot, though, from Danny Williams. I don't think he knows where Jake Hyde is when he takes this on. Goes there to go towards goal. And Hyde just tries and makes that little run across the near post.
It's half-time now in the 8 games that kicked off 15 minutes after this one. The goal here, though, for Eastleigh at Meadow Lane. House with it in added time at the end of the first half. Of course, Notts County among the sides at the start of the season who were considered genuine title contenders, but they're heading right now for what would be, Adam, a 3rd defeat in a row under their new manager Ian Birchnell. Cameron King has overrun that, and if they were to go on and lose that game, Adam, it would really be, if not already, panic stations at Notts County. Eric, their place in the playoffs under serious threat right now. That would have been the minimum objective at the start of the season. King has a go! What a hit that was. Hyde's furious with him. He wanted the ball played into the box. Jeff King went for goal and he nearly found it.
I know they've had an argument or two since that goal that Jeff King scored against Weymouth, and it certainly felt that Jake Hyde should have got that goal. He's certainly got every right to take the shot on there. Little touch out of his foot. Certainly the opportunity for Jeff King to take it on. That's close. And if that goes 20, 30 yards over the crossbar, of course, Jake Hyde can have certainly an eminence to have a go at him, but that's so unlucky there from the fullback.
Williams, what an open game this is. Earring. Carey. He's got Jackson up in support as well. It's a fantastic run, weaving his way through. Can he finish it? It's a great block. Fantastic run that by Carey, and it was Marr, the captain, with an important intervention there for Halifax.
Well, it's great defending, because he knows what can he do. Just go back on the line and just be an extra body in case it goes past. But look at the quality of Carey going forward. Always in control. Gets it onto his left foot. I mean, that's a goal there if Marr's not making the block.
Hyde with the layoff here to Earring. End-to-end stuff at the Shea. As Earring looks for Hyde again, he's not got much in the way of support. That is arriving now, though, in the shape of Chadwick. It's still Hyde. And Summerfield! What a strike that is! And Halifax have turned this all around. From 2 down, they're 3-2 up. And that's a lovely goal from Summerfield.
Well, almost seems the theme of the game that one side gets an opportunity towards goal. One was a save from 3 over Vassell. This time it's Niall Marr clearing it off the line, and then they go up the other end. It was just a little bit too long there for Jay Hyde to get on and go through to himself and goal. But it's a patiently weighted ball back to Luke Summerfield, who comes and strikes it absolutely brilliantly on the edge of the box. Strikes across it, then takes it away from Theo Richardson in the goal. It's a brilliantly well-worked counter-attacking goal there from Halifax, and it's a massive goal in terms of the context of the game, in terms of context of the season.
Well, they've missed him a lot recently through injury. The Wrexham game was his first start since the 26th of January, had 2.5 months out. He's just shown there, Luke Summerfield, what Halifax have been missing in his absence.
Well, he's been absolutely vital for them, and in terms of their performances, when you look at individual players, Luke's arguably been the best player of the season so far, and when he went missing through injury, he was a massive void. And against Wrexham, just certainly feeling, people maybe have felt that he was just trying to feel his way back into the game. Few misplaced passes for the standard that he set himself. But I think it's good for him to get a goal in open play, because the quality that he's shown on the ball during the season has been good, but confidence as a player to score from open play. A lot of them have been penalties this season, but it's an important goal as well.
Well, he had said before the game, Pete Wild, that this would be a massive test of character for his squad, in light of the fact that they've been beaten 4-0 on Tuesday night here by Wrexham. It became an even bigger test of character when they were 2-0 down in this, but how they've responded. Jeff King with the ball in now. Touched behind by Baggett, 18-year-old centre-half in this Kings Lynn defence. What must Ian Culverhouse be thinking, Adam? Someone you know well, someone you've worked with.
I think it's just the story of his season so far, that the ups and the downs have all happened in 51 minutes so far. A lot's reliant on the young players to step in, but they've shown quality so far in this game.
Deep delivery, and it was Byrne who couldn't keep his header down.
It certainly has been a tough season for him, despite the experience that he's got in the game and who he's played for, and everything is about it. But he'll certainly come out a better manager after this experience. You can clearly see the players are still playing for him. You can clearly see the players are still trying. If that shot would have gone in there from Carey, then it wouldn't have gone up the other end, but defensively they just do slightly open.
Good strength there by Earing, and Chadwick will keep it in, and it's deflected behind off Baggett for a corner. He has said, Ian Culverhouse, that this season has been a massive learning curve for everybody at Kings Lynn, him included. He said that they won't make the same mistakes next season as he feels they have this season. There's so much going on in the National League today. There is the top 10 as it stands. Halifax, as you'll notice, in 6th place. Of course, Notts County dropping out. So much to digest from just a quick glance at that as it stands at the top 10. The referee here pulling the play back. Rare chance for us to draw breath. It's been that sort of game. Carey started 15 games in a row now. One of the rare consistence in a side that has changed almost week on week, game by game. And Culverhouse even making mention of the fact with Jeff Brazier before this match that he's not handing out a debut today, which has been a rare thing not to be handing him on out. Coleman. Carey. Back it comes from Denton. Clunan. McFadden back to Clunan. Such difficult circumstances in which All at Kings Lynn Town are having to work right now. 9 of their players furloughed, not even able to train with their teammates, those players who have been furloughed. Here's Cameron King, and now Denton can pick his pass, and he's kept it in, and then it's touched behind by Marr. Again, they offer a threat though, Kings Lynn Town.
Oh, it seems more down the left-hand side than right-hand side for Kings Lynn. He's getting decent space there. I think the distance between Burn and King's just a little bit off at the moment. I think King's just playing a little bit too narrow inside Burn. He has to be braver to go out and try and stop Denton getting in those opportunities and chances, because he is getting a little bit of space. We saw with the first goal, we saw with the ball in for the second goal. It's a really area for Ian Culverhouse's side that they're certainly capitalising on.
10 gone in this second half. Halifax from 2 down lead 3-2. Williams met it at the near post. Chadwick. Covering here is Denton, who's impressed at Kings Lynn since his arrival from Chesterfield in January. In fact, I was reading in the local Norfolk paper that they were saying that his displays have rather typified the fighting spirit there's been at Kings Lynn Town this season in exceptionally difficult circumstances. Oh, that's a little bit loose, and this could be another in, it is. Well, how easy was that for Jack Earing? His 3rd goal in 5 games. He's having a fantastic season. But it's a big, big defensive error that gifted the opportunity. And from 2-0 down, now they lead 4-2 Halifax. This is a crazy game.
Well, you can concede goals in certain ways, but you can't afford to concede goals like this. I think about the second goal against Stockport that John Rooney scored from a miss kick from Theo Richardson that goes out. They're in so much control of this ball here. It's the way that Ian Culverhouse wants to play, but it's a blindsided ball there. It allows Jack Earing to go in and get the simplest of tap-ins. It's a really poor goal to concede. It almost means the game's going to be over now. After they worked so hard in this game, to give away a goal as easy as that really gives himself a massive mountain to climb.
The mistake by Coleman punished, and it could get worse now for Kings Lynn. Halifax suddenly in the mood, and the effort from Chadwick not too far wide. How this game has turned around.
It's been a great game, isn't it? And you have to give credit to Pete Wild's side that when you go 2 down and you don't drop your heads and you keep doing what you believe in and getting players in the final third and creating opportunities and chances, it almost feels even at 4-2 they're not finished here.
Almost 20 years now since Halifax were in the Football League. Halifax Town relegated in 2002. Now the Phoenix club hoping to secure EFL status for next season. And how important the closing stages of that first half could prove to be in terms of their whole season, the way they've helped turn this around, gave them the platform to do that. Carey, though. Clunan. Howard. Jackson and Howard with the cross. Not too much on that for Gash. Looks like he's readying a change perhaps here in Culverhouse. It's an FA Cup semi-final weekend. Our live game comes from Wembley tomorrow. It's Leicester City against Southampton. That from 6 o'clock. Leicester, the club who've made the most finals without ever winning one. 4 times they've been losing finals, looking to make another one. And the Foxes feature in our next live Premier League game as well, up against relegation-threatened West Brom. That Thursday at 7:30.
So you may see Ian Carvalhouse trying to make a change or two. Maybe Alex Kawamia to come on and try and offer something in the final third, because you do feel with the Halifax defensive frailties that they may give yourself one chance, and the next goal again, they can get it, can be really important.
Earring. Byrne. It's a really good ball forward, that Hyde. Angles against him, but he's got Byrne in support. Jeff King. Can they add a fifth here? Comfortable take. Of course, there is only one automatic promotion slot in the National League. It has led to something of a bottleneck, Adam, with so many really big ex-Football League clubs right in the picture here in terms of the players. You look at some of the names involved. I mean, in terms of the size of clubs that could potentially be in the playoffs, it's a mouth-watering prospect, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? I think that's what makes this league so unique. It's just the unpredictability season after season. I mean, not many would have had Sutton in second place at the moment, going for the league title. Chesterfield, we've seen season after season finish strongly, not really capitalise on the start of the season. Notts County, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, in my opinion. I just think the way that they've played since Ian's come in, and Cal Roberts now missing for the rest of the season, I've just got a feeling that the momentum that they're on at the moment, just can't see them making it.
As it stands, 9 points between 4th and 10th. You'll have seen there, there's 3 clubs on 52 points, 2 on 53. It's so competitive. And it's really does illustrate how important this comeback, this turnaround could potentially be ultimately in terms of Halifax's season. As I say, almost 20 years now since they played in the Football League in their previous guise. This is now the Phoenix Club. A very exciting end to the season. Cameron King, Michael Clunan, Coleman's pass. Callum McFadden sends one down the line. It's a chance this for Rob Howard to cross over towards Gash. Jeff King. Well, Rhys Oates has added a 4th here for Hartlepool. Of course, got the opener, didn't he? Scored early on in the second half. They're having a great time at Wealdstone this afternoon, the league leaders. And a change being made here as Kawamia is brought on for Kink. Alex Kawamia signed from Chesterfield in January. Across this season and last, he's played for 4 different clubs. Kings Lynn, Chesterfield, Chorley and Doncaster. Had 7 years at Chelsea as a youngster. What a season Hartlepool are having, though. Who are your favourites for the title, Adam? See you put your neck on the line.
Well, what we saw of Hartlepool last week and what we've seen of Dave Challenger's side with this run-in, the momentum is really with them. I don't know if Sutton have got enough to claw back the points, and then with the games in hand still.
4 games in hand, Sutton.
Well, they do, but it just seems that when they do get that lead, and don't they, in the top of the lead, they just don't seem to manage to keep it. I think Hartlepool are in pole position, despite the games in hand they've played and the more games that they've played. I just think the way that they're playing at the moment, they're arguably the best footballing side in the league.
It's a great ball, that. So awkward for the goalkeeper. Now, was that a penalty? Well, the referee could not have been better placed. The challenge was on Chadwick, who stayed down here, but the referee hasn't pointed to the spot. It'll be very interesting to see again.
Nice good play there from Jeff King down the right-hand side. It's one of those teasing balls in. That's a penalty, isn't it? Just gets there before, doesn't he? Baggett goes in there, doesn't play the ball. Plays Billy Chadwick afterwards. The way that he's gone down, you can clearly see he's been caught.
Chadwick, okay. Earring, the problem. Just a bit of housekeeping in terms of all that chat about the sides going for the title and the games in hand that the sides behind Hartlepool have. Should point out Torquay have 3 games in hand on the side, who at the moment it looks like are going, or will be going with the lead they have, 4 points clear ahead of Sutton's game later on this afternoon. Sutton and Torquay both have superior goal differences as well on Hartlepool, even with the 4 goals they have today. Earring, it would seem here, has a hamstring problem, Adam, and if he's out for any length of time, that would be a huge blow for Pete Wild.
It would be a massive blow for them. Mentioned the importance of what he's been this season with his creativity, but his goals as well. It's been a long, hard season for all the players, so of course muscle fatigue and niggly injury is always going to be a process of that.
That's Coleman's pass. Could they get one back here, Kings Lynn? Remember, they had led 2-0. That didn't quite reach Denton. Thumped clear by Johnson. It's only the second meeting that there's ever been between these clubs. The first at the Shea, the reverse fixture, finished 1-1 back in January. Kings Lynn had led in that one as well, only to be pegged back, but the comeback here has been nothing short of spectacular, really, from Halifax. Gash with the layoff, Carey to take it on. Still life left, you feel, in Kings Lynn here. Howard, Gash has come short. They'll keep it going here with Clunan. Carey. Clunan. Clunan. Denton. That's really well done, that, by Jeff King. And off go Halifax, 3 forward in this attack. And he's picked out Hyde, and Jeff King's in the box. And the flag's gone up and the whistle goes, and it won't count. And it was a lovely finish, wasn't it, from Hyde? But denied by the offside flag.
It was a great finish. Chadwick had 2 decent balls here. Good play there from Jeff King, because he actually gave it away in his own box, but he done so well to win the ball back. Then look at the determination of him. Harsh, I think, that decision. Cuts inside nicely, and it's a brilliant, brilliant finish from him.
So a change confirmed here with Green coming on for the injured Eric. And a double change about to be made here by Ian Culverhouse. So Jackson, one of those who's being withdrawn here. So Alex Babos, one of those coming on. Who signed from Alfreton in April, a former Welsh under-21 international. The other player you'll have noticed coming on is Michael Giassi. Clunan. Goals continue to fly in the other games, other 8 games going on right now in the National League. We'll get to another in the game involving Wrexham in a moment, but here come Halifax, and the goalkeeper was off his line. Let's show you that goal then. It's gone in at Woking. Wrexham chasing the playoff positions themselves, have doubled their lead, and it's Rutherford who's got it for them. Nice finish from him. What a story it would be, Adam, if Wrexham were to get back to the Football League with their new Hollywood ownership as well. You look around at the sides who are competing for the playoff places, and whoever it is who eventually takes that second promotion place, it will be quite a story, won't it?
Well, it's brilliant, isn't it, to see, for a neutral standpoint, you see the money that Stockport have now thrown into the team. You'll see what happened with Wrexham, Notts County, Chesterfield. I mean, it's a brilliant watch for a neutral. I mean, for every fan supporting that team, we've had a bad enough year as it is, and I think it's just going to get made even more worse for them in terms of just that nervousness. I mean, the playoffs always throw up surprises. I mean, it's a brilliant end to the season for us as a neutral, but it's there for anybody to take this season, Adam. If you can get that little bit of momentum now towards the end of the season, like Hartlepool have done, you can almost say it's yours for the taking.
It's worth pointing out for those of you who are maybe not familiar with how the playoffs work in the National League, with it going down to 7th for the playoff positions, the teams that finish 2nd and 3rd automatically go through to the semi-finals. They have to play a game less than those who have to go through what are effectively quarter-finals, called eliminators. Here's Denton. Gash waits in the box. It's over towards Gash, who did well to get in any sort of header at all, but it was always going to lack the power to trouble the goalkeeper. Big game coming up in the Premier League next Saturday. Liverpool in a race for the top 4 up against relegation threat and Newcastle. Lunchtime kick-off in that one, and then the following day we have a West Midlands derby, Aston Villa against West Bromwich Albion. Been in good form, Halifax, prior to that surprise defeat to Wrexham during the week. And they've produced a stunning comeback here. And as it stands, inside the playoff places. Denton, movement from Giassi, who wasn't used. This is Clunan, who's the club captain and somebody playing for his hometown club, Michael Clunan. Carey lost one forward. Header was by Bradbury. This is Williams. Talk about some of the great stories that there could be for whoever does eventually go up through the playoffs. Would include Halifax in that, the Phoenix club, which the old club went into administration in the 2007-8 season. Carey to strike one. FC Halifax Town started life out in the Northern Premier League Division 1 North, level 8 on the pyramid. It's been a long old road, hasn't it, to get in a position to get back into the Football League, but they're certainly in with a shout. Problem is, there are several other sides who could say that as well right now. Denton, who's originally with Leeds as a youngster. It's nicely done by Giassi. Chance for him to stretch his legs. First time he's had to do that up against Summerfields. Burns there as well. Tricky player, Giassi. He's done well here, combining, or at least tried to, with Carey. Denton. They could get the next goal. Kings Lynn, you just never know. It's been that sort of day.
Well, they're certainly playing with the tempo that they still feel they can get the next goal. Changes that Ian Culverhouse has made are not defensive changes, they're attacking changes. They're still trying to get the ball in the final third. Just need to try and test Sam Johnson in better areas.
Carey, final 15 minutes approaching. Giassi. Referee had a good look at that, and it was a shake of the head from Gareth Rhodes. It's a Halifax-born player who's coming on here for the Showmen, Jack Senior, who's with Huddersfield in his youth career. It's Bradbury who will make way, and who's had more minutes on the pitch in the National League this season than any other player for Halifax. Quarter of an hour then at the Shea, and how his mood will have changed so considerably. Being 2-0 down, 4-2 up. An amazing job really to get Halifax in the playoff picture again that Pete Wild has done, when you consider how many players left the club over the summer, the likes of Nolan and Binham Williams, Brown, Cooper, King, Staunton, Duckworth, Show Silver, McDonald, Hanson. He had to almost completely rebuild again, and has done a superb job to put together a side that is, as I say, once again challenging for the playoffs. Not easy to do that at all.
No, he's done a magnificent job, Adam. I know managers in the National League, we kind of joke about it sometimes, but they always talk about the budget they have to work with. I know Pete Wild certainly doesn't have the best budget in the National League, and to bring in the quality that he's done after last season, I think it's a real testament to him. And I think when people look at the playoff season last year, I think that ends up sometimes being a smokescreen, that they way overachieved from where they are. And again, to continue that again this season, I think it's a real testament to him, the quality of manager he is, the way that the players play for him.
It's rather different at Kings Lynn over the summer, not huge changes there. Ian Culverhouse did largely keep faith with the group that won promotion, but that policy had to be abandoned really through no fault of their own, with the pandemic situation and players being furloughed. Just to clarify, by the way, earlier we showed you that Wrexham had gone 2-0 up at Woking. We credited the goal to Rutherford. It was actually Hall Johnson who got the goal. At Wrexham, it would seem, about to secure another victory, another step themselves towards securing a playoff place. What a worry it will be, though, Adam. Another big club in this at this level, Notts County, who are still losing at home against Eastleigh. And for their supporters, it would be almost unthinkable, really, to not even make the playoffs in a season where they were expected to challenge for the title, as Allen comes on here for Woods. It's a big story what's happening at Notts County, isn't it?
Huge story. I mean, the change of manager, that I think there's a real split 50-50 down the middle. I think some fans felt that Neil Ardley deserved that chance to see this season out and try and get into those playoffs, and other fans felt that it was a change.
Giassi. Oh, great chance for another one. Giassi's there again. Surely he'll finish it. It's wide. Carey's put it wide. Big moment.
Yeah, Giassi, sorry, he has to hit this first time. Can't afford to take a touch after touch, even in such a tight area. He does so well. Great little turn there from Carey. Great, another last-ditch block. Just hit that first time with your left foot. Don't try and bring that back on your right, because then it just closes the angle down and it makes it harder. Just shoot first time there, and he doesn't. He pulls it back, and then you look at the amount of Halifax players back to put Carey under pressure. But again, as we said for Ian Culverhouse, so they've not given up yet.
Nicky Featherstone has got Hartlepool's 5th. They are going to be 4 points clear at the top of the National League, at least until Sutton's game later on this afternoon. And they could, if they win, bring the deficit down again to just a point. But Hartlepool right now really are flying. 14 unbeaten going into this. Clearly that's going to be 15 now. And that's just confirmation of what I was just saying. And this is important as well in terms of the goal difference, because as you can see, Sutton and Torquay have both got better goal differences than Hartlepool, but they're reducing that with what is clearly a stunning performance from them at Wealdstone. This is so exciting, this title race. It's absolutely brilliant, it really is.
As we saw Hartlepool last weekend against Notts County, they did a good job to get that game won, to knock more points off their playoff title challengers in Notts County. Seems like they've been emphatic today. Then they've got Weymouth and Chesterfield and Bromley, which are going to be tough games for them, but the momentum is really now with Dave Challoner's side.
Clunan. Baggett, who's on loan from Ipswich, he's giving it away here to Summerfield, and here come Halifax again. Great run forward by Summerfield and Chadwick. It's a good stop that by the keeper Richardson. Does that really well, Summerfield, the way that he drives forward. And they have missed him while he's been out in recent months. He was the National League's Player of the Month for December, and if they can keep him fit between now and the end of the season, he could be really important, particularly as it looks as though they might have lost Earing to a hamstring injury this afternoon.
Yeah, just that valuable experience in that midfield area. Him and Woods, the amount of games that they've got between them as a total, it's invaluable.
Michael Giassi does well again here, Giassi. Closed down that by Kieran Green. They were always out today, Halifax, to prove that Tuesday night's defeat to Wrexham, heavy defeat to Wrexham, was just nothing more than a blip. Here's Summerfield. Hyde. Allen. Good block by Tyler Denton. Back it comes for Byrne. Jeff King. Turn well. Clearance by 18-year-old Elkin Baggett. He's been working with Kieran Dyer at Ipswich Town. Made his senior debut in the EFL Trophy back in October. Bit of time for Clunan. Guided out by Niall Mark, captain in the absence of Clark. So ice applied to the hamstring there, right hamstring of Jack Earick. And Halifax fans will be pretty nervous for news on how serious that injury is. He has been one of their better players this season. Some might say their player of the season.
Yeah, certainly a worrying sign there, isn't it? The turnover of games that have been for these players this season.
Allen. Carey. Is there a bit of late drama in this game, you wonder? Another goal for Kings Lynn Town, and suddenly it could get really nervy for Halifax, but that's well intercepted by Williams. This is Hyde. He said he wanted to see his side back to their best today. Except what a massive test of character this game was. Certainly weren't at their best 2-0 down, but I think he'll be absolutely delighted with how they've played since. There's been a clinical cutting edge about Halifax that maybe they lacked in the early stages of the game, but some really well-taken finishes to put them 4-2 up.
Yeah, I mean, to show the character and the mental side of the game, to be 2-0 down, I just kind of felt that they weren't out of the game. You know the defensive frailties that Kings Lynn have provided this season, and they didn't panic, and I think that was the most important thing for Pete Wild's side, and they had to be patient for that first goal, and then they got the second goal from the set play. In the second half, they've come out and completely dominated possession. And it's made the scoreline look fairly comfortable now.
Hyde's taken that down well. He's got Allen in support. Good strength from the centre forward. He does lead the line very well, Jake Hyde. Somebody who really is a proven goal scorer at this level. Got 28 National League goals in 62 appearances in the last 2 seasons with Woking. Green, Williams. To say it is such a shame really that Kings Lynn haven't truly been able to enjoy playing in the National League for the first time. Their supporters largely denied the chance to follow them in person. The financial side of things has meant a really well-run club has just had to survive rather than thrive, and you hope when things, I keep my fingers crossed as I say this, get back to normal next season, that will change. Here's Green. Hyde pointed where he wanted it, and that's where it went, and it's a chance for another one, but again, for the second time in this second half, he has a goal disallowed.
Just maybe the ball from Green was just slightly delayed. Good little pressure in the midfield area. Yeah, just a fraction offside. I think that one was certainly the right call. I think the one he had disallowed before was a lot tighter, but he's kept going.
It's worth mentioning actually in terms of forward options for Halifax that Tarvon Campbell, who they got on loan from Cheltenham, is, I'm told, back training with Halifax, had to go back to Cheltenham for treatment on a calf injury, but close to a return, which would boost their options coming into the closing stages of the season. Of the regular season anyway, they'll very much hope to be involved in the playoffs, Halifax. Every chance of that too. Jarsi. The chance is taken there by Williams. Looked lively since he's come on, Michael Jarsi. Somebody who Chelsea paid a fee to Northampton Town for when he was just 11 years old. I was reading, he was actually born in Hamburg, he's played in Germany as well. It was quite a story at the time when Chelsea paid a fee for an 11-year-old to Northampton Town. He was also with Leicester City as a youngster as well. Nicely done by Clunan. Get out before it could reach Gash. Denton. Carey. Denton again. Last couple of minutes at the show. Clunan. Carey. Halifax have a tough-looking trip to Chesterfield next, and they then host Bromley after that. 2 other sides who are chasing the playoffs. Kings Lynn's next game is at Aldershot. They host Dagenham and Redbridge. After that, they are a side just seeing out the season. That nothing really to play for. Consider that they aren't going to be relegated. Already been having meetings, I'm told, about their planning for next season. Ian Culverhouse and those above him at the club. And the one thing he has as well is certainty as the manager as well, having been given a new contract in January till 2023. Allen. Jeff King. Howard. Gash. Clunan. Babos. Brought down here by Sonny Carey. Babos. Denton. A minimum of 5 minutes to be added on. Carey. It's a good run forward here by Denton. They've got plenty of options if he can pick out the right one, which he couldn't do, and Senior got it clear. They might have given away a 2-0 lead. They might be losing this game 4-2, but they've more than played their part, Kings Lynn. And some of the football they play is so easy on the eye. You can see what Ian Culverhouse means when he says about sticking to their principles. Babos. Carey. Jarcy just got away from him. Let's bring you another goal from the other 8 games being played right now. It is an equaliser for Chesterfield. Lawrence Maguire with the goal. His brother of Harry took that well, didn't he, for a centre-half? All square then in that game. It's a goal that, as it stands, puts Chesterfield back into 5th place, level on points with Wrexham. Let's get Adam Virgo's man of the match.
And I think he's led the line really, really well. So important with the first goal that he scored to get themselves really back into the game, and then the assist for the third. But I think he's just kept going and going in terms of his hold-up play, his runs in the final third, and he's really led the line so well for Pete Wildside.
It's collector's item there, Adam Virgo giving the man of the match to a centre-forward rather than a centre-half.
I was going to give it to Tom Bradley, but he went off.
Well deserved for Jake Hyde. He's got his 8th National League goal of the season today. It's been a rather injury-disrupted season for him as well. It's been difficult for Jake Hyde to truly get going, truly get in a match rhythm with the injuries that he's had, but he could, in the closing weeks of the season, be absolutely invaluable leading the line for Halifax.
I think when he had that hamstring injury mid-season, I think they maybe just brought him back a little bit too early. Kind of caused with the setback, but they looked after him afterwards, and now the second phase of the season for him. Just so important that they keep him fit to lead the line. He seems to have a decent link-up play with Chadwick up front.
Byrne. Allen shows down the line. Halifax in their 4th season running at this level. Last season, by far their best campaign of the previous 3. They finished 16th and 15th in the previous 2, but from a poor start today, they've certainly, since their equaliser in the 42nd minute, put in a really good performance as Byrne brings it forward. And could they add a 5th in what remains here? Chadwick, who's been excellent for them today. Byrne hits the byline and pulls over the cross towards Hyde, who just couldn't apply the touch.
A little feet there from Billy Chadwick to get the ball out wide. Forward, just a little bit too much on it there for Hyde to make the run across the near post and have an easy tap in.
Final minute of added time then. Denton. Yes, they did come close, Halifax, to promotion back to the Football League under Neil Aspin when he took them to a playoff final in 2014 with a 5th place finish, lost to Cambridge in the final at Wembley. Remember, it was Lee Gregory who led the line for them that season, got 29 goals. Jake Hyde's not got the time to get anywhere near that, but that type of talismanic front man can be the difference, can be so important in what's such a competitive league. It is a promotion race with many a twist and turn to come, you suspect. Halifax firmly back on track after being given an early scare. Pete Wild's side 2-0 down after 25 minutes, but their comeback was emphatic. 2 goals in just over 3 minutes at the end of the first half from Chadwick and the man of the match, Hyde, and then Summerfield with a brilliant finish to put them in front 5 minutes into the second half. Earing, before he went off injured, added a 4th. Just inside the playoff places as it stands, Halifax, but this another step in the right direction for them. Disappointment once more for Kings Lynn. They are seeing out the season, they won't be relegated. But what an entertaining game that was, Adam Berger.
Yeah, thoroughly entertaining, Adam. I thought I really enjoyed the way that, you know, Kings Lynn still played to their principles and gave a really good account of themselves. But I think for Halifax, it's about the results now more than performances, and I think they showed great character, and that's what you need at this stage of the season, is character and holding your nerve and holding your bottle, and they've come away with a massive 3 points now.
Full time then at the Shea, Halifax Town 4, Kings Lynn Town 2.